friends, welcome to today's webcast by InvestoBHARAT. I am glad for all of you took out the time to be here and gather around for this first orientation webcast so that all of us can be on the same page regarding what is actually required of all of you when you contribute your articles at InvestoBHARAT so that all of us are able to um, capitalize on our strengths and gain the most out of this exercise. With that and without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Rohit Singh, who is the co-founder and head of content at InvestoBHARAT. For he is going to guide you through the process of writing at InvestoBHARAT and what are the factors that you need to consider and take care of before you submit your articles to us. With that, I'm going to leave you to Rohit Singh. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Hi friends, and my introduction has already been given by Rashmi, so I'll cut straight to the chase and begin with my presentation. As you can see in your screen, as you all know, these articles are focused to investors, and these are investment insights. So there are a couple of things, broad parameters that all of your reports should meet for it to be ready for publishing on our platform. I'm going to discuss each of these points in details, and you should try and incorporate these in your reports. This will enhance the quality of your reports and make you a better analyst, and at the same time help your readers gauge actionable investment insights and take decisions. So the first point is an actionable insight. Any article that you're writing on, it is extremely important that you identify the opportunity. You have to clearly identify it and write it in a manner that it clearly sets out in detail what that opportunity is, so that the reader understands it and he can take an informed investment decision. That's what InvestoBHARAT is all about, helping investors take informed decisions. So actionable insight, that's the first parameter for any article. Then it should be market centric. It doesn't matter what you write on, be it a stock, ETF, or a broader industries or sector. It should be focused on an opportunity which can be exercised by an investor. If it's not market centric, avoid it. The third thing is fundamental analysis. Now, fundamental analysis, as we all know, is a very wide topic, and it is a topic of extreme discussion in finance forums. Some people say markets are efficient. There is no point of wasting your time doing fundamental analysis. But we at InvestoBHARAT believe that markets are inefficient. Because if that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this webcast. The fundamental analysis is where you analyze a company based on its operating stats, on its operating qualities. What is it that the company is doing good? How are its returns? How is the company poised to grow? Whether they are entering into new markets or they are coming up with a new product. Are they investing too much in R&D to come up with products that will pave the way for the next generation or take the company to the next level? These are the things which fundamentally drive an investment. I need all of your articles to focus on these fundamentals, as these form the core crux of InvestoBHARAT's investment analysis. For the unique insight. Now, I want to share this. I want to discuss about unique insight with an example, and I'll take the example of Apple. Now, Apple, as we all know, is a company which is now in a transition phase. It recorded stupendous growth in the last 7 or 8 years since the launch of iPhone, and with competition fast catching up and Samsung literally taking over Apple in the smartphone race. It becomes important that the company focuses on products which redefines them. So they are coming up with iPhone 6 or the iWatch. Now I, as an analyst, needs to ask myself that will the launch of an iPhone be point which can change the company's dynamics. It will change the way people perceive the stock or the company, or will it help them grow? If not, Apple's launching the iPhone 6 is not a unique insight. A unique insight is one which is such that will take the company to the next level and at the same time help the investor in taking an informed decision. It will be something that the investor can act upon. It will be the catalyst that drives the stock. Fifth thing is telling titles. Avoid using bombastic titles. Avoid using this company will destroy Apple. Right? We don't want that stuff. Your title should be succinct and it should aptly give out the theme of your article. For instance, if I write Apple, 26% upside with entry into the Middle East market. Now the reader can now the reader knows what he has to expect from this particular report. This report will be focused on Middle East and Apple's expansion in that area, and what strategies are they going to take to, and what is it that expanding in Middle East and how that expansion will fuel the company's fundamentals and push the price and give returns as much as give a 26% return to the equity holders. So that's something we need to look at. The next thing is grammar. The readers of this report need to understand very simply what you write. You don't need to play with words. Use as simple and English as you can. Be thorough with your punctuations because punctuations change the meaning of the paragraph completely. So you need to focus on that. Try to read as much as you can. That's the only way you can improve your English and also your grammar. So those are areas which you need to consider and try to, the more and more you write, you will automatically improve your grammar. The next thing is plagiarism and sourcing. Using someone else's work and passing it as your own is completely a no-no. Avoid doing that. If you are using someone else's work, it is important that you hyperlink that, right? It is important that we at all times try and rephrase, if at all we are adopting something from someone, and write it down in your own words. That's the best way to present it. That's when you're using someone else's copyrighted material. If you are using company's data, for instance, you want to write something about the company's product line, and you copy something from the company's annual report, you can use that. You can copy it as it is, but you need to then put them in block quotes so the readers know, okay, this is something that you've adopted from something, and it is also from some place, and you need to hyperlink that information to the source material. So that's what plagiarism and source strengths was about. I'll move on to the next slide. Valuation. This is a very dicey area. I don't want to talk much about it. All I want to say is, if you're not comfortable, leave it. Because fundamental analysis is not about valuation. Fundamental analysis is about analyzing company based on its strength. You might choose to value it, you might choose to not value it. That's a decision I'll leave on you. But in case you want to, the best source to learn valuation is Professor Ashwin Damodharan's website. Go to damodharan.com. All his classes are recorded on that platform and you can watch all of them. All his resources are available, his books are available for free, spreadsheets are available. You learn valuation. If you think that is something you need to work on, that's an area where you can get all the information you need on valuations. Now, once you decide to write a report, you need to gather the information. I will highlight some of the areas. While these are not the only places you will get the information, you can get information from many other sources, but these are the sources where you can start from. These are the points, these are the sources where you could first refer for any information that you need on a company or an industry. So the best source to gather company's information is its investor relations page. Here you will find the company's annual and quarterly statements, investor presentations, as well as earnings call transcripts, which are essentially discussions of the management with equity research analysts, where the analysts ask them questions about how the company has performed in a recent quarter. So those information booklets will give you information or enough knowledge about the company and what they are doing and how they are doing what they are doing. Now, for those analysts covering the American markets, an alternative source is the SEC EDGAR website, where you will find all the company filings and all historical periods. That's also a great source, but unfortunately, that's only available for the US markets. Then we have and gathering industry data. That's something very important. You need that for analyzing the market as a whole. So if you want to gather industry data, best source are specific industry associations. These associations prepare presentations where they forecast the industry 5 years or 10 years down the line, globally and geographically. So that is something you can look at. Finally, as I said, if you want to learn more about valuations, you can fetch the Moulton's blog. Everything is available there. I don't think I need to tell you much. If you want to know more about it in detail, please visit themoulton.com. Finally, the report structure. Well, as this isn't a run-of-the-mill report, it is not what we usually see as an equity research report. This is actually a report which focuses on giving a unique insight with a risk-reward scenario. So I leave it on you how you want to present the data. But I have some key points which you can keep in mind when you write your reports. What are these? One, it would be great if you could give a brief intro about your company, because the readers might or might not know about the investment. If it's a small cap stock, you probably who are covering the investment might have heard about it for the first time. How can we expect the readers to know about it? So it is important that we give a small, brief intro to the company. That will help the readers assess what the company is doing, what they have done, or they are intending to do. It is also important that it will be helpful for the readers if you could give them a brief historical performance of the company. How have they done in the last few quarters, or any important M&A deal that they've entered into, or a product deal, or an important agreement that they've entered into with their creditors, or pointers to know where the company is going. Then comes the catalysts. These are the drivers of the stock. What is it? What is it that's going to drive the stock and take it to the next level, or will be responsible for the stock's crash? Right? It could go both ways. What is it? What is that catalyst that will drive the change? You need to highlight that. With all rewards come risks. So risks factors are something that you need to completely consider in your report. If you don't do that, it will always leave an open door for investors. They will be in ambiguity. They need to be clear of what the downside is to their investment. There is always a downside to any investment. Try and highlight that. Finally, valuations, as I've said, for those who are comfortable, go ahead, try it out, because the only way you learn valuations is by doing it. For those who don't, or for those who want some time, the best way to do is just leave it aside. Focus on fundamentals, give a proper conclusion to your report, and close it. Conclusion is extremely important. It needs to sum up what your article was intended to and what is it that you want the investors to take off. Right? Try and conclude. Finally, in case you're writing about a macroeconomic phenomena, market outlook, or about a commodity or precious metals, you can choose to skip the above structure. There's no point, because that would be a focused report on a particular industry, right? So you need not follow this structure. Finally, using graphs and charts. The more pictorial a presentation is, the better it is. The better it captures eyeballs. Finally, some closing thoughts on InvestoBHARAT. Well, our aim is to de-organize the whole equity research business and break it away from the existing sell-side structure and move towards a crowdsourced domain. I think the wisdom of the crowds is something that always wins. I am a believer in democracy, and I think it is extremely important that we bring that along. I hope this session was useful. In the next session, we will cover up editorial guidelines, and I thank you very much.